You're watching IntoWineTV. We're here today at Incanto in San Francisco, and we're tasting wines from strange places. Today we're trying the Santomas Big Red Refošk. This is a 2006 from Slovenia.
Interesting wine. Okay, first of all, fun obviously to be in Slovenia. Very herbaceous, okay? So nice, there's good fruit.
Herbaceous.
Yeah, oh, I'm getting like a lot of herbal notes.
Okay.
And forest. I get a lot of sort of grassiness and some green tones. Bell pepper, in some ways some green fruit. But it's also got pretty decent tannic structure. I'd like to probably see a teeny bit more on the fruit side, but I think that might open up as we go. And I do like the dark fruit, sort of dark cherry or black cherry, blackberry. I like the fact that it's not overly blown with fruit. There are a lot of other sort of flavors behind it, but I do get a lot of grassiness and green fruit too.
Now it's a Refošk. Is that something that is common in other parts of the world?
Yeah, it's Italy, Friuli and places like that, and it tends to be a very deep, dark color skinned grape and a wine which actually needs a lot of aging. And so to be drinking a 2006 to me is very, very young. The color is beautiful actually, it's very intense.
Very gorgeous color, yeah.
Gorgeous color. What I love about all these wines we've been tasting from weird places is that they're so well balanced, and you know, this is what, 12 point, what is the alcohol content on this? 13% alcohol.
Which is good.
Which is really good.
Yeah,
For
that's
red
nice.
wine. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And it's fun. But I'd like to see this with more age. But it's a good wine.
I would agree. Yeah, I really like this wine a lot. I think it's definitely could use a little bottle time, bottle age, and this is a food wine. This is a sommelier's wine. This is a wine that paired with the right dish, I think will really sing. It's got beautiful structure. It does have fruit. I get more red fruits. Usually Refoškos that I've had from Friuli have more kind of purple plum damson. This is a little bit more on the red fruit tip. There definitely is that herbal component that you picked up on, I find as well, although it's not overwhelming for me. I also get a bit of a savory kind of characteristic. Not bacon fat necessarily, but almost like a beef bouillon. That sounds a little strange. Very subtle. I think it's giving it a little complexity. Nice minerality. The tannins are definitely pronounced, and that's why I think with food, with duck, with beef, with pork, it would go really nicely, and some age. And the acidity is there. I think it's got everything in line. I think it's excellent.
You know, I mean, maybe it's just my imagination, but has this not opened up quite a little bit in the last few? And that fruit is starting to come out a bit more. A lot of like sage too. A lot of some of that almost like garrigue, and it's not that part of the world necessarily, but beautiful. Like again, back to the herbs, dry herb notes, which I think are very pretty.
Yeah, this Refošk, I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly.
Refošk. Slovenia is Refošk.
Okay, yes, yes. I'm sure people aren't as familiar with, but if I could liken it to something perhaps a bit more popular, it would be like a Northern Rhone Syrah, in that it's got that kind of herbal component, nice fruit, good tannic structure and good acidity that Northern Rhones can have. Although this has a little more red fruit than I think a lot of Northern Rhones, and it doesn't have that necessarily peppery quality, but a little Syrah-esque, I guess you could say, if I was to compare it to something more popular.
And you mentioned opening it up. Do you think it's okay just to open up the bottle and let it sit for a minute? Do you think it needs to be decanted? What would be the appropriate
What's the vintage again?
It's 2006.
Okay. Well, in theory, we would all love to cellar our wines for 20 years and then open them, or not necessarily every wine. In theory, we would like to open up a wine and taste it at the optimal time. In reality, we show up and we open up the bottle and we drink it. So hard to say. I mean, I probably would, and I like to decant wines, even young wines. I decant a lot, so I might do that. But I do that kind of probably more than everything. Yeah, I really like to decant wines.
Can you maybe speak to the benefits of that decanting?
Well, for me, it just lets the wine open up, breathe. We're mixing molecules of oxygen with the wine, so it just has a chance to really open up, to breathe, and to just expand. The aroma is much more beautiful in general. So a wine like this, probably, and it has opened up a lot in the glass just since we've been here. So
I would say young wines, when in doubt, decant. White wines can benefit greatly from decanting, especially intense, more full-bodied whites.
I disagree with both of you on the decanting. because for several reasons. One is the fact that decanting is really just transferring the product from one narrow opening to another. It doesn't really change much. The change actually happens most in the glass. And it's also nice to see the change and to watch it happen rather than decant it and then have the change.
I think we're talking about both, decanting and drinking it.
Well, certainly I agree with drinking it, that's for sure.
I think it depends on the occasion. I mean, you know, yes, if you are going to have a dinner and sit with people and meditate over a great bottle of Burgundy over the course of 3 or 4 courses and discuss it, perhaps decanting is not such a great idea. But I think if you have multiple courses with multiple wines and you want to really enjoy those wines, I think decanting and allowing those wines to flesh out a bit is beneficial.
One reason I would decant this is because I would want to...
I thought you just disagreed with us.
No, I'm just saying one reason I would is because I hate this knobbly little top of the bottle.
Oh, yeah.
It makes it look like cheap wine. And so decanting it would give it a perception of much
You could get rid
more
of the bottle?
wine.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see.
But it's a good wine.
Overall, great reviews on the Santomas. This has been the 2006 Big Red. It's a Refošk and from Slovenia. Thanks for joining us as we taste some interesting wines from strange places, and we'll see you again.